welcome back. Last episode, the Sinai Corporation was founded. At first starting out as a mining corporation in the Sinai, quickly becoming a cradle of civilization in the Levant and the northern region. They eventually moved their operations to somewhere else. That else being the place. Oh, we also have to update the religion. It hasn't been updated since last time. But since these and for the first time here, we're going to have another religion instead of just the red one. This being the orange religion of the yellows, which are more of a successor to the oranges, but they were a successor to yellow. So yeah, it's kind of a circle. These are tribal peoples, and then you have just corporatism. Its fullest, we just have raw corporatism. The corporates, the merchants, faith is this religion. In the Sinai and the corporation, or the old corporation's territory in the Sinai, and then they have like the Levant, and they have like the civilized, and we have the civilized men's religion. It's not currently very up to date. We have two tribes here. We have the yellow tribe and this tribe, and then we have like the Levantine kingdom and the newly founded Egyptian kingdom. The thing sprouted from like the corporation. The corporation has turned to more like sailor thing. It's a corporate state, but due to like that they have actual religion, they are not valueless. They do have values. It's not like they are valueless, unlike a lot of modern corporations. They're just money, 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 money. These are merchants with a purpose to create a nation of merchants, not a nation for merchants, nation of merchants. There's a huge difference. And these guys are really powerful, since like the Black Sea is half explored. The cradle of civilization is here in Trebizond. And we have another civilization forming in Egypt and the Levant. Speaking of Egypt and the Levant, due to the massive population growth of Egypt, it sees the copper mining as very important. Due to in this timeline, steel isn't really gonna be researched for a long time, so they're just gonna invade them, and they are able to really easily destroy the Levant. This would also be the period of the first recorded battle. The capital would be razed to the ground, actually. The original capital, and won't be rebuilt for a few years, maybe even a century or so. Eventually, the explorers actually do some, not really the explorers, but the merchants do some exploring for new trade routes and possibly aliens, not really, but like kind of. So they quickly explore like the Peloponnese, Greece, and all that territories, until they reach this territory, linking up with these guys. Now, as I said, the Confederation is more of a ruler one, and they are more like a nation-building one instead of like whatever the city-states are. So they all the sites combined into a massive exploration programs, taking about a century or so for all of Anatolia, and also expansion into Europe. Now, currently, I think what would happen realistically is you have Asia, which would take up this area, Africa, and Europe, which would be kind of like the New World, unexplored land. The myths of a giant amount of gold over here, because there is actually a lot of gold in Romania. Romania is very rich in resources for some reason. Like, why does it always have to be the shitty countries who have a bunch of resources? Why doesn't okay, America does have a bunch of oil, but why doesn't Germany have a bunch of oil? Why doesn't Georgia have a bunch of oil? Okay, we do have some kind of Haiti, like this area, but Azerbaijan is Mr. Oil, okay. The Trade Corporation quickly expanded its outposts and is the main pioneer of Greece. However, Sinop is also moving into Greece. They quickly establish a large amount of colonies known as the Sinopians. The Red Team joins in with a small amount of colonies on the coast, and the Egyptians join in on Epirus. So you have a very culturally diverse Greece, divided between three peoples. The Sinopian city-states, the Red Team, the Red Trebizond, the Merchant Confederation, and the Egyptians. There is this small territory. And this territory would be known as a small country. This territory would be the first city in the Europe. This small city, this is a small settlement of freemen. Barely, not even seeable on the map aside from just a city, like in a single pixel. Like, it's just a city in the small village. That's it. And the new cities are gonna get founded by these people over time. The Red Team found some here. There are a lot of cities founded in like Greece during this period, and the massive population boom from Egypt causes a bunch of due to the massive expansion of Egypt and the fertility of the Nile, a bunch of random cities appeared in places where there shouldn't be any cities. The Merchant Confederation would remain a confederation, so yeah, we can just delete their capital, which is in Cyprus, and just do the small one. And the Naxos, actually. Naxos would become an independent state, becoming the Land Team. And they have a small purple outpost in this region of the Trade Confederation. The purples are more like, the Sinopians are more like your classic city-states. Colonialists, but autocratic. And they also have to upgrade religion again. Firstly, the Achaean religion the Levantine religion would develop in eastern Greece, because of course it would. The cult of trade would develop a lot in eastern Greece. We would have a huge sport in Greece over this. The cult of trade, of course, the merchants' cult, as more commonly known. They also control a huge part of this area. A lot in this area, the cult of trade is followed. It did actually just start as atheism. Until it quickly developed into this religion of greed or something like that. And you have like the red religion, which has two sides. It has the city-states and the yeah, that's why. And like, well, the Trade Confederation and Egypt is also can maintain these areas. They're not, but the Sinopians are really weak. So eventually, these areas develop into leagues, such as the Thessalian League, Troy, and you go into the Odyssey movie. Technically, I think at this day, the the Byzantine Empire, and Byzantium. And we of course can't forget about the many other city-states founded in this region and their consecutive leagues. Also, a large chunk of these are leagues, but some of them are actual city-states. So those who are city-states are this country, this country, this country, this country, and this country. There's a single league, the Thessalian League. The Thessalian League, after it's funding, quickly goes after the merchants, because of course it would, and they are able to take over 4 merchant cities. However, the merchants do stay on. This small city-state here quickly rises. That's just the reds. I meant magenta, you buffoons. The bumbling buffoon. The magenta team quickly takes over Egypt, and the hyper-militant state is founded in the region. So practically we have Sparta, but in the north of the Peloponnese. However, Epirus does survive as a colony and under the Egyptian Empire. And also we have these guys, and I don't know what would really happen to them, but I think they would slowly but surely civilize. And the first civilizations to appear are pro-trade ones, and some conquered by the Trade Confederation itself, such as the Phoenician tribe. However, one area was able to survive and quickly become a huge city. The yellow team actually would centralize under a ruler, funded its own capital and a series of minor cities. These are not very populated, however. And we have Cyrene, Cilicia, and the Phoenician cities made by the Trade Confederation, but however they do remain their religion. There are currently 4 religions. There is the Levantine one, the Egypto-Palestinian one, and Palestine is actually more originating from like the Israel-Palestine region. So yeah, and that's why it's called Palestine, because the Arabs live there. And that's why it's also called Syria here, Iraq here. That's just the name of the region. So they name it after the region because they're independent Arab states. Not Lebanon. Lebanon is different. And we have the Trade Corporation, the Trade Confederation. So yeah, I think that's really just it for the video. I mean, we have the massive exploration, the colonization of Greece, the discovery of Anatolia, and all that. So yeah, let's end the video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.